Listen to this. If you get fat, people think you eat too much. If you lose weight, people think you're sick. If you dress well, you're showing off. If you dress simple, you're poor. If you speak your mind, you're rude. If you stay silent, you're a coward. If you're successful, you're arrogant. If you're struggling, you're lazy. If you're honest, you're naive. You see, no matter what you do in life, people will always criticize you without fail. So do whatever makes you happy in the sight of your God, your love, and your passion. Because here's the truth. Trying to please everyone is a losing game. The more you chase their approval, the more you lose your peace. You become a puppet, pulled by every opinion, every assumption, every side-eye glance. And in the end, they still won't be satisfied. You could give them your best, your loyalty, your energy, and they'd still find a reason to talk behind your back. So why not rise above that noise? Why not live for something higher than human judgment? Why not live for what is right in the eyes of the one who sees your heart, even when no one else understands it? That's where real freedom starts. Not in validation, but in alignment. Not in applause, but in truth. Not in trying to be everything to everyone, but in being real with yourself and with your Creator. Let me ask you, what are you doing today just to be accepted? What standards have you dropped? What dreams have you delayed just because you were afraid of what they might say? What if instead you stopped trying to look perfect to others and started becoming honest with yourself? What if the real power came not from being liked, but from being aligned with your values, your principles, your quiet convictions? Because there comes a moment in every life when the opinions of the crowd grow loud, but your conscience grows louder. That moment when you feel torn between fitting in and standing up, between being quiet and being right, between pleasing others and honoring the truth within you. Have you ever felt that conflict? Have you ever swallowed your voice just to avoid tension? Have you ever walked away from something good just because it wasn't popular? It's time to flip the script. It's time to stop bending for approval and start standing for what matters. Because when all is said and done, it won't be their opinions you answer to. It will be your own heart, your own truth, and the one who sees what no one else can. So let me ask you again, are you living to be accepted, or are you living to be aligned? And more importantly, what would your life look like if you chose what's right, even when it's not easy? Number 1, the trap of pleasing everyone. No matter how hard you try to satisfy others, there will always be someone ready to criticize, question, or condemn. That's not your burden to carry, because the truth is, living for others' approval is like running toward a moving target. It never ends. Today they praise you, tomorrow they doubt you. One moment you're enough, the next you're too much. And no matter how many masks you wear, someone will always say it doesn't fit. You change how you speak. You shrink yourself to fit in. You silence your instincts. And after all that, what do you gain? Their brief approval and your long-term regret. You start losing the sound of your own voice, forgetting the feel of your own truth. And eventually, you wake up realizing you've built your life on sand, not stone. Living this way wears down your soul. It creates an invisible prison where you obey expectations instead of listening to your own conscience. You're not free. You're trapped in a cycle of performance. Ask yourself, how many of my choices today were based on truth, and how many were based on fear of judgment? The moment you stop chasing people's validation is the moment you start reclaiming your power. Number 2, what it really means to do what's right. Doing what's right in the sight of God means following the truth, even when no one is watching. It's making decisions not based on gain or popularity, but on purity, on conscience, on courage. It's not about being perfect. It's about being honest in your actions, consistent in your values, and faithful in your decisions, especially when it's difficult. This kind of living doesn't require an audience. It requires awareness. It means you listen more to your inner conviction than to outer noise. It's about treating others with respect, even when they can't repay you. It's about holding your tongue when anger rises. It's about walking away from what's wrong, even if everyone else is staying. That's real strength. Right is not always loud. Sometimes it's the quiet strength to choose differently when the crowd moves the other way. Ask yourself, what's one thing I'm doing right now that doesn't align with who I know I'm meant to be? Your Creator doesn't look at surface appearances. He sees the heart. And when your heart is in the right place, your path will follow. Number 3, the strength to stand alone. Doing what's right often means standing alone. It means saying no when everyone else is saying yes. It means walking away from easy pleasures and choosing meaningful sacrifice. That's not weakness. That's strength most people don't talk about. Real strength isn't found in following the crowd. It's found in standing firm when your values are tested. In today's world, popularity often takes priority over principle, but that path only leads to regret. But loneliness isn't the enemy. Compromise is, because every time you silence your truth for the comfort of others, you chip away at your own spirit. You can be surrounded by people and still feel empty if you're not living honestly. Have you ever gone along with something that felt wrong just to avoid standing out? Did it bring peace or discomfort? Standing alone in truth is better than standing with a crowd in dishonesty, because even if you lose approval, you gain something far greater: integrity. Ask yourself, what have I been tolerating in silence just to keep the peace? And is that peace even real, or is it just avoidance? Your soul knows the answer. Number 4, living from the inside out. When you live from the inside out, the world loses its grip on you. You stop reacting to noise. You start responding to truth. You stop living on defense. You begin living with direction. The world will always have opinions, distractions, and demands. But when you live anchored in values, you no longer get tossed by every wave. Every day you have a choice. Act according to your values, or let the world define them for you. And make no mistake, the world will try. It will tempt you to chase trends over truth, applause over authenticity, comfort over courage. But when your actions match your beliefs, peace enters, confusion fades, and even when the road is rough, your steps are steady, because now you're no longer guessing, you're grounded. Ask yourself, what does my inner voice say when everything else is silent? Have I been listening or avoiding it? If your inner life is strong, no outer pressure can break you. But if you ignore that voice too long, you'll lose your way trying to follow others. Let your direction come from truth, not trends. Number 5, the reward of alignment. When you do what is right in the sight of God, there's a reward beyond what the world can give. Peace. Not peace from everything going perfectly, but peace from knowing you stood for something meaningful, that you didn't lie to yourself, that you didn't betray your values for approval, comfort, or applause. Because external rewards fade, but internal peace stays. It lives in your quiet moments and guides your bold ones. That's the kind of peace that stays with you in quiet rooms, that holds you steady in storms, that makes you resilient in the face of pressure. Because even when others question your path, you don't. Even when others walk away, you remain whole, because you didn't walk away from yourself. Ask yourself, what legacy am I building, not through my words, but through my daily actions? Every choice you make shapes that legacy. Every small act of integrity adds to it. It may not be seen by everyone, but it is known by God. And in the end, that's what counts. You're not here to impress. You're here to live with truth, with courage, with clarity. So, are you living to be seen or to be aligned? So, doing what's right in the sight of God isn't always loud or applauded. It's often quiet, lonely, but unshakably strong. It takes courage to choose truth over comfort, faith over fear, and integrity over approval. Peace doesn't come from pleasing people. It comes from honoring the divine standard within you. Have you ever felt uneasy after doing something just to fit in? That's your soul speaking. When you live for truth, you might not be celebrated, but you'll be free. Free from pretending. Free from the need to impress. Every quiet act of integrity echoes in eternity. So ask yourself, what truth am I silencing just to be accepted? Live in a way that makes heaven smile.